We good? We on? Is my mic on? Turn me up in the headphones. That's one of my favorite things to say. I'm talking to my microphone. Good? Good evening and welcome to another episode of Dana Being Dana. Tonight we are talking about those who are beautiful inside and out. Look at my studio audience. I mean, not my studio. Look at my panel. Look at these ladies. I have gotten so many compliments on the guests here tonight and just how beautiful you guys are. Just the pictures, the photos. You guys are amazing. But what is so awesome about you and what I know and what they're going to learn during this hour is how beautiful you guys are on the inside. You guys are such great people from all walks of my life, and I'm excited to talk to you tonight about being beautiful inside and out. So let's just jump right into it. So first of all, I just want to shout out our sponsors, GH Private Wealth Management, Inc. They're at 800-558-9769. And Amanda Adams, author. She's wrote a fantastic book that we're going to talk about a little bit later, The Sangrita Club. So stay tuned. Thank you all so much for sharing. I think we've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, which I think is going to be great. So I'm super excited. Thank you all so much for tuning in. The anchor of this show, the catalyst of this show, was my friend Sarah. Sarah, I've known since we were in junior high school, and she has been a main supporter of me in what I'm doing on Dana Being Dana. And I just want to thank you, not only for your support and your friendship, but for you being here tonight. Hi, Sarah. So Sarah is with Rodan and Fields.
Yes.
And we're going to talk a little about your business, but I want to talk about first, you get all the credit, aside from Brenda and Stacy. But Sarah started my Facebook page, period. I wasn't on Facebook, wasn't a fan of Facebook.
No.
And Sarah got me on Facebook, believe it or not.
She was very anti the Facebook.
But I appreciate you, clearly. So thank you. So tell us about what Rodan and Fields is.
So Rodan and Fields is a movement of entrepreneurs stemming from two dermatologists out of San Francisco who started Proactiv. Many people have heard of that brand, which is in hundreds of countries worldwide. People recognize that as an acne brand that I was a user of. Many other people have been using that brand. And the dermatologists, Dr. Katie Rodan and Dr. Kathy Fields, recognized that in their own practice, they were seeing other skin concerns that people were complaining about, and realized that if they addressed other skin concerns through the similar model of reaching out to people at home, they could branch out away from people waiting in line at their practice and reaching out into the into vanities across out into the marketplace, similarly to what they did with Proactiv. So that's the super tiny nutshell version. And they started off in storefronts and glass shelves, but as the marketplace transitioned from people going out off their couch and shopping in stores to people making recommendations and just buying off of the internet and buying online, they recognized that shift and started moving the model to making purchases as a recommendation.
What I love about what you do is how you were at home with your kids before, and how it has just revolutionized, I think, who you are and what you've done. I mean, you're such an entrepreneur, and it's really tapped into your entrepreneurial spirit, which I think is fantastic. So can you talk a little bit about how you have enjoyed being a representative of Rodan and Fields and selling the products?
So what I love about this is that I started off with this idea mostly because it stemmed from kind of survival mode. I had been laid off twice, and I started off in service. I was first in healthcare, then in the corporate world as a service provider. I was in client relations, I was in healthcare, and I was providing services to people, whether it was as with patients and with clients, and just goal planning, connecting with people, and that's what I do. And when I found this opportunity after a second layoff to reconnect with people, plan goals, provide services, that really reinvigorated that same vein of, that was something that I recognized again in a goal for myself. This way, I didn't come across an opportunity for another layoff, and so I felt like this was going to really speak to me in that regard. What I love about this particular company is that I am not I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a business person, I didn't graduate with a degree for this particular type of work, but I received the training to be able to do this successfully. So even though I don't specialize in the particular products that we sell, I'm learning how to be a business person, and I'm learning how to do all of that through the company, while connecting and doing all the events and reconnecting with friends and connecting with people out in the world through events and other opportunities like that.
Thank you. Tangi, how are you, sister?
Doing amazing.
You are amazing.
Yes.
So Tangi and I met through mutual friends, and you have just been a ray of sunshine. And I said this when I was posting about you, ever since I met you. And you are the owner and the founder and CEO of Stylish and Fit. Can you tell us what Stylish and Fit is all about?
Yes, sure, of course. First of all, thank you for having me and such amazing women at this table too as well. Stylish and Fit is a holistic company that focuses on the well-being of women. And I work with men too, but women, that's really my heart. It focuses on tapping into the most important part of who women are, which are the core of who they are, which is their purpose. And so through wellness, I love to present wellness in a fun way, fitness, nutrition. I'm a holistic wellness coach, a personal trainer, and a wardrobe stylist. So I found out that they all kind of work together. And when a woman taps into her signature beauty and who she is and what her purpose is, then she desires to walk her purpose with vitality. And in order to do that, you have to be fit, you have to take care of your body and understand the value of your body. So everything that you put in your body, you have to say, hey, it cannot have me because I'm too valuable. You know what I mean? I can't have that. So I just found a way to synergistically put them all together because they all work together to make a fabulous woman.
Absolutely. and I think when a woman is walking in her purpose, she is fierce, y'all.
Yes.
She is fierce. And what I love about all of you is how you help women be fierce. Veronica. Hello, Miss Veronica.
Hello, everybody.
So Veronica does my hair every week. And she does the hair like in my family, and so I just appreciate you for supporting me and the lengths you go through to support me in this show on a weekly basis. But also, can you just tell us a little bit about your business and what you do?
I am a hairstylist, and I also have a line of hair, which is Vazizo. It's Veronica, Zion, and Zora. I had to add my children in there a bit. So they're hair extensions. I do provide hair for Malaysian. It's Malaysian hair, which I am wearing Malaysian hair now. And then I also get Brazilian. Brazilian is a little bit more textured, but Malaysian is a little bit more straight, free-flowing, and I don't really have any tangles from this hair. I also I'm a hairstylist, and I do sew-ins, overlays, locks, natural hair, relaxers as well. I do a little bit of barbering, so I touch a little bit of everything. I'm also a massage therapist, so I play around with a little bit of everything. That way I stay a little bit more fun, and it's always something new to do, so it's never boring.
Thank you. Now, I get so many compliments. Every time I get a makeover, people are always asking me, who does my makeup? And with the exception of a couple of conferences I've been to, which have been fabulous, Sandy does my makeup. Sandy's at the MAC counter out in the suburbs, but she slays on the makeup. Sandy, so can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I'm Sandra. I work for MAC, but I was a makeup artist even before I started with MAC. But I kind of found my niche with them because of the way that they, embrace the artistry and the beauty of makeup. So I definitely refined my talents and my skills, but I do it outside of the counter. So as you know, I make house calls, but a lot of it is just trying to find out and help women find what what helps them feel beautiful. So for some women, it could be just brows and a pretty lip, and other women, they want a full glam, but I always try to tune into everyone and find out what they want and what they need to make them feel beautiful.
Thank you. And I want to come back to that.
Yeah.
But before I do, on the phone, we have Candace Smith. Candace, how are you? Aloha.
Aloha, I'm amazing. I am calling or speaking to you ladies from Honolulu, Hawaii. Can you hear me clearly?
We can hear you. Yes. Thank you so much. You win the award for coming in for the furthest away. So thank you so much for being here. In case you all don't know, go ahead.
No, I said mahalo for having me.
Mahalo, yes. Well, mahalo and aloha, and thank you, sister, for being here with us tonight. In case you didn't know, Candace is a former beauty queen. She was Miss Ohio 2003. But in addition to that, Candace is an actress. She's a TV personality. She does a ton of things, and she's been on several different shows: Price is Right, Survivor, Millionaire Matchmaker, $1 Million Matchmaker. She's done comedy sketches on Conan. She's been on Hallmarks. She's done several movies with Hallmark. But what I love about Candace is that she uses both, I think, her law degree and her psychology degree, and she puts all that into her podcast, which is Love by Candace. Candace, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I love what you do with the podcast and the life coaching that you do.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I know it sounds a little bit all over the place, which is essentially been my life and my career. So I do have a psychology degree, and I actually went to law school in Chicago at Northwestern. So I love Chicago. I wish I was there with you ladies right now.
Wait. You don't want to be here now because it was snow in the forecast.
And you know what? Snow, cold, doesn't matter. It's my favorite city. So when I do come, we have to all get together.
How about we meet you in Hawaii?
Well, you ladies are more than welcome to fly across the country and the Pacific Ocean if you would like.
We coming.
It's quite a trek. But, so I did practice law for a little while, and I also began life coaching after graduating with my psychology degree. Entertainment, TV, and film, that was always something I was very, very passionate about. And so after winning the title of Miss Ohio USA, I went ahead and explored the entertainment world and got some great guest stars and just started my own action flick produced by Pierce Brosnan called My Father Died. But, I wouldn't say it's a hobby because it's a passion and it's a lot of work that goes into entertainment. But what I'm focused on right now and what I'm truly passionate about is my coaching. I appear on Millionaire Matchmaker, $1 Million Matchmaker as a love and life coach and as a matchmaker on every episode. But in reality, I do coach. And I coach people in a lot of different areas of life, whether it's life, love, relationships, dating, public speaking, issues with self-esteem, body image, and I loved what your other panelists brought up as far as the synergy, because I do believe in that as well, that the mental, physical, and spiritual are all connected. And my goal with my coaching, when it comes to women specifically, is empowering them in all aspects of their life and nurturing that mental, physical, and spiritual, because it is all connected, to build a very strong foundation of self-love that guides them in every facet of their lives. So my podcast, Love by Candace, which is on iTunes, just gives me an opportunity to share from my own personal experience, from working with clients. I talk about everything from the entertainment world, when it comes to the manipulation of women, sexual misconduct in Hollywood. I talk about misconduct in the pageant world. I also talk about mental health, how to make relationships work, healthy living. So it's my thing, just like this is yours, Dana, to spread my testimony and everything that I've learned. So that is what my goal is right now with Love by Candace, the podcast, and then I have my coaching. So,
and I think the empowerment of women is so important. I mean, that's why it's one of the reasons why I brought us all here together tonight, because some people were like, oh, you got too many people on your show, you got too many people there. And I said, no, because I wanted this to be part of a movement, you know, of women actually supporting women, standing up for women, showing up for women, and being here together. You guys are all in different spaces, and I just think it's so important to share that message, that beautiful women can come together and support each other and be there for each other and just share what it's like. Because I think entrepreneurship is hard. Anytime you're out here chasing dreams, it's hard. And so we'll talk about a little bit about that in a bit. But one thing I wanted to talk about, and this is something that Sandy, you and I discussed when we were talking about this show, is that you had talked about the vulnerability of women when they first come to you, when they sit in your chair, right? A lot of times when you come to get your hair done or your makeup done or your beauty products, you know, you're kind of not necessarily at your worst, but like, you know, I wear a hat. You see me when I come in. I mean, I do not wake up like this. And so talk about, you know, that vulnerability that you experience with your clients or from your clients when you encounter them.
You know, there is a vulnerability when someone sits down in your chair. Like anytime, sometimes women come in and they don't even realize, you know, they'll sit down and you're almost like a therapist to them. So they'll sit down and just kind of start telling, you'll ask them, how's your day going? And you're doing some stuff. And I've had women tell me things from, you know, marital things to even illness. I get a lot of women who maybe are going through illnesses where it's affecting their physical beauty. Right. And for me to, you know, talk to them and listen and also show them something really easy to fix that. I get several women who are going through chemo and they lose their eyebrows, and that's one thing that I know is very difficult. Just something as simple as that. But, you know, just to talk and listen and be there and empower each other. You know, I don't even, like, I'll just do it. Sometimes I don't even, you know, I'll just kind of talk to them, and while I'm putting shadow on them, we're just talking about what's going on and letting them, you know. Yeah.
Anybody else want to comment on that?
Yes. Vulnerability, for me, I always say it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, necessary part of any transformative process, especially when it comes to women, because when you show your vulnerability and that allows you to tap into the truth about what's really going on, because you can't help what you don't acknowledge, right? And so,
say that again. You can't help what you don't acknowledge.
Right. You can't help what you don't acknowledge. And so it starts with that vulnerability and letting that show. And when you talked about beauty, which I think is so beautiful, and when you take away the mask, like the lipstick, I often say that we put lipstick on our lips to highlight our words that we speak with confidence. So when you highlight your lips, then it's to speak words. So I think beauty is important when, you know, highlighting the eyebrows, because that's like the window to the eyes of the soul, right? And so women, we wear makeup to do that. But once you take it all off, once you take off the makeup, and once you're able to be vulnerable, that is true beauty.
I think that's absolutely true.
You know, we talk about internally when we talk about which products people are using so much. You know, our 4 core skincare regimens are, of course, the foundation of our product lines at RNF, but one of the most popular products, of course, as you may attest to, is our lash product. And everyone, it's one of the most popular products among my clientele, and a few people will come to me and say, you know, I just want to start, you know, they're already minimizing their own, you know, their own concerns or their own priorities. They're starting off with, I just want to start with, or I'm not really sure where. Like, these are the beginning sentences that they'll say to me. And for the people that want to start with their lashes, they're admitting that they're going to look in the mirror and start with the first thing they look at is their eyes. They just want to open up their eyes. I don't wear mascara, but I just want to, you know. And the confidence begins with the first thing that they see, or the first thing that others look at when they look at them, and they just want to feel pretty to themselves, much less whoever they're speaking with. And it's something that you, as the consultant, are peeling away at them. And so that's, like, you're right. I'm sorry.
Sandy?
Sandy, thank you. Like we sort of become a therapist in a way.
That's true, and I can attest because I had about 3 eyelashes before I got my first lash boost from Sarah. She was like, "What's your problem, Mary?" And I did say it was my lashes because I literally had 2. But you know, now I have a little bit more. I got 5. No. But they've been growing, and I've been very pleased, which has been awesome. Candace, when you and I talked, we talked about how a lot of times people who desire coaching or who benefit from coaching, oftentimes a common thread, a lot of times, I think with women, but I think with people in general too, can be a lack of self-love. And
Yeah.
and I have experienced this, you know, sometimes myself, in some of my darkest moments, my toughest times, surrounding yourself sometimes with people who influence your lack of self-love, right? I mean, ultimately we're responsible for ourselves, but sometimes you can be in environments, marriages, friendships, family, situations, jobs that tear you down and that pick at you.
Right.
And so can we talk a little bit about that? Any comments? Because I think you guys have such a pivotal role, like you said, in helping people piece some of that confidence back together that others try to tear apart.
Yes, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I typically deal with a lot of people with hair loss, and I end up having to create a style for them that actually looks well for them, that you can't even tell whether there's a frontal piece or whether there's a full net that I have to put on to cover up bald spots. And that right there, I'm in a salon right now where I'm in a room secluded where no guys or anybody else could actually see what I'm doing, and that helps a lot of people to be able to come in one way with a cap on and go out fabulous.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to be able to help in that aspect, cancer patients, anybody.
And in ways that are not just superficial, right?
Sure,
like
right.
It's not just a date,
Right.
but it's like, you know, I have cancer, or I'm going through, you know, I have hair loss. There's so many autoimmune diseases that encourage hair loss. Alopecia, all kinds of things. So, Candace,
Yeah.
were you going to say something about that?
Yeah,
the lack of self-love?
I was going to address your question. When it comes to our self-love, I mean, a lot of that goes back to our early domestication in life, how we were raised, our friends, our family, even what we're exposed to when it comes to media, as far as what is the definition of beauty, what is success, what is beautiful in our world. And a lot of times that self-love starts to be chipped at a very early age, whether we're conscious of it or not. And once we are adults, it's up to us to take the time to go back, to reevaluate what we've experienced in life, acknowledge any past emotional wounds, whether they be relationships with family, friends, etc. My first boyfriend was a very unhealthy, toxic relationship that affected my self-love to a deep, deep, deep core, and that then influenced all of my decision-making in life, whether it was professional or personal. Because if you're not feeling that you are, quote-unquote, good enough for anything, that's going to have an effect on how you live your life. So based on, you know, these microscopic experiences, we tend to carry that with us through our adult lives. So a lot of women that end up in relationships that are abusive, that are not healthy and happy relationships, a lot of that goes back to their early life and that self-love being chipped at, and them not truly, whether we want to believe it or not. And in today's society, if you're successful, you're making a lot of money, you have a good job, you look good, a lot of women want to present themselves as loving themselves and feeling good, but deep down inside they're suffering. And on the outside, it looks like, oh, so-and-so has a great marriage, they're happy with 2 kids, 2.5 kids, and a white picket fence. But when they go home and they're alone, they're suffering deep down inside because they are not in a fulfilling relationship and exploring what they truly want to do in life. And self-love has everything to do with it. I could go on and on about that. But when I work with women, a lot of times, no matter what they come to me for, Some come to me because they, I need a man, or I'm having issues with work, or I'm not feeling good about this, or in my relationship I'm not getting what I need. I find that most of the time it comes down to truly believing you deserve it, number one, and having that confidence in yourself to go get it.
Yeah, I think that's great, Candace. I agree. And just to spin off on that, I think that we attract who we are inside too. That's why when you see sometimes, you look at your friends, you see strong women, that's because you're feeling that. And I think a lot of women are attracting people that are fragmented because they're fragmented, and I posted something, the word joy. And joy for me, the acronym is just own you. So when you can own who you are, then that's where true joy comes from. You know how hurting people hurt other people? It's because they haven't owned everything, their past, their future. And so we have to start attracting what we want. And first, that comes from putting those pieces together, making sure you're not coming from a fragmented place.
I think that's so true.
Oh, most definitely. I agree. And when single women come to me and they have this long list of what it is they want in their mate, the first thing I ask them to do is look within themselves. And are you living your life in a way that you're proud of? And do you have these qualities, these characteristics? What do you stand for? Are you involved in your community? Are you putting your mental and physical health first? What's your workout routine? What's your, you need to be what you want. The type of love that you want, you need to be living that. And then, yes, the universe will present to you what it is you need, but you have to stop and do the work.
I think that's so true. And I think what you said about hurting people, hurt people hurt other people. Yes. And I think a lot of times people don't appreciate that when you let people chip away at you, when you let people enter your space and steal your joy, right? A lot of those people tend to be hurting themselves, and internalizing that is something that I have fallen short of, and I think other people have too. So I think I applaud you ladies and what you all do to help bring out and remind people of who they are. And I think that role is so important. So we're going to take a short break. As we do, though, we're going to still talk to Amanda about her book, but we're going to transition the panel. And I want to talk about the book. Candace, you're going to still stay on with us, right? You're there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So you guys, we can go ahead and transition. The Sangrita Club. Amanda, right here. Yep. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sangrita Club?
The Sangrita Club fits right in with the conversation that we're having. When we talk about self-love and people in our lives who chip away at who we are, that's what the Sangrita Club is about. It's about four very different women, different culturally, socioeconomically, who come together to form this club called the Sangrita Club. And the purpose of them coming together is to really help each other through situations that they have experienced in their lives that they have kept a secret and that they have not dealt with. And as I'm sure that you know, as well as everyone listening, when you don't deal with the things that happen to you in life, they come back to haunt you. And if you continue not to deal with them, they will continue to haunt you throughout your future in every aspect of your life. And so this is about four different women culturally who come together to help each other. It's really a combination of four #MeToo stories. But it's not about just sexual harassment in the workplace. It's about all different facets and aspects of abuse that happen to women throughout their lives, from birth on up, and how these women have put on these facades to cover their pain, and they've come together to wipe off their facades and expose who they really are in order to be able to heal and help each other to become who they truly are meant to be.
What does Sangrita mean?
Sangrita is a combination of margarita and sangria.
And I saw her drink this tonight.
It's very delicious.
It is. It looked phenomenal.
And both of these drinks have quite a few ingredients. And as women, we have a lot of ingredients. We come together, we have different experiences, whether it's culturally or where we come from or just our interests. And these women come together and they find common ground in terms of the issues that women deal with. Because as women, a lot of the things that we deal with, they're very similar, even though we're very different. Mm-hmm. And so they come together to help each other through, over, around those stumbling blocks that they have in their lives and make them into stepping stones.
So where can people find this book? How can we order how can we order a Sangrita? And how can we order the Sangrita Club?
Well, I need to work with a company to develop this cocktail. There is a recipe for it in the book, and the book is available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. And if you go on my website, which is booksbyamandaadams.com, you can order a signed copy from me as well.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. And
Thank
I thought
you.
It was a perfect match because your book is about women finding their voice.
Yes.
And about their empowerment and about them overcoming.
Absolutely.
And I think what all of these women do, in addition to their businesses, and we're going to talk about the entrepreneurial aspects of running your own business in a minute, but I think you overcome a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of people trying to detract you or tell you no or distract you from what it is you want to do.
Absolutely.
And so I think to be able to push through those things and to be who you are, not only helping yourself but helping other people, is truly phenomenal. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for introducing me to the Sangrita and the Sangrita Club. I've got the book. I think it's great. My mom and I are both reading it.
Wonderful.
And we are enjoying it very much. So I really appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Thank you.
So now I would like to introduce the second half of our panel. First, we've got Kimberly. How are you, my dear?
I'm good.
Fantastic. Good. So Kimberly and I go back. We've got mutual friends. Thank you so much. I see people sharing the show, liking the show. Thank you so much for sharing this message, because I think the message of women supporting women is a theme that I think a lot of people like this week, and I appreciate you all for letting me share your beautiful photos to get that message across. But Kimberly has been somebody who's been riding with me since the beginning of the show. I needed a website, and we had a mutual friend that connected us, and you helped me. You built my website. So Dana Being Dana was built by Kim.
Never meeting you before.
Never meeting me before, but we just clicked, and I just loved your energy. And, that's what I want you guys to understand, what your power is, because, some of you guys work with me directly, and you empower me. I do a lot of what I do because you guys empower me. And you helping me get my start, is something, I told you, something I would never forget, and I just appreciate you.
I got you.
So in addition to helping people chase dreams and stuff, you also run Fly Girl Fitness.
I do.
And just tell us a little bit about that.
Which part?
Just what you do. Show them who Kim is. Kim is a boss, ladies and gentlemen. So, just tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So the day job is marketing. So I own a company called Big Shot Marketing. I have for the last 18 years, and I'm blessed to have met you and be able to help you with your brand and your website. And the nighttime job, I own a studio called Fly Girl Dance and Fitness. So back in the day, I cheered for the Chicago Bulls, way back in the day. And I thought one day I'm going to wake up and be a fly girl. Remember the Fly Girls? Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
Hey, that's going to be me next, right? So I opened a studio 4 years ago called Fly Girl Dance and Fitness. And today we are blessed to have a booming business on the northwest side of Chicago.
That's awesome. That is absolutely fantastic. So, just like Sarah, I've known Dana for a very long time. Dana and Leslie and I went to Spelman together, and Dana and I grew up together because we had the same name. A lot of people would get us confused, but Dana lived in the city and I lived in the suburbs, but that's how I knew about you before I actually met you, because everybody thought I was you. Which is an honor and a pleasure on my part. So thank you for being you, Dana. But can you guys tell us about what you do?
Sure. So I'll start. Leslie and I own a company that actually has 2 locations of beauty bars, blow dry bars, and full service beauty bars. One in Chicago's South Loop neighborhood, and our second location in Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So the company has been around almost 2 years, and the concept was a one-stop shop with trendy, affordable glam, for all facets. Nails, hair, makeup, microblading. We've added recently facials. We've got we've got a med spa in Kansas. So the brand has really just grown and expanded to cover our tagline. One of our taglines is everyday glamour for the busy and the beautiful.
All right.
So that's
All right.
That's our business.
I love it. So Leslie, how do you guys know each other?
Through mutual friends, you
Yeah.
know, that Spelman Morehouse world. You can't get 2 steps from a black person that went to college without getting to know them really well. So yeah, we met through Spelman Morehouse mutual friends. But on top of what Dana was mentioning about our beauty bar and med spa business, the number one aspect initially when we started this concept or started thinking about this concept about 4 years ago was the fact that Dana and I, living in the city, having young kids, had to go, beauty regimen became maintenance. It was no longer fun anymore. You had to go to 3 or 4 different places during the week to get your hair, if you're traveling on the weekend, to get your hair done, get your nails done, get your wax if you're going somewhere warm, get your makeup done if you're going out at night. And not only were we traveling to so many different places to get that one great stylist or technician at those different places, but we also were paying more for downtown parking and then for services, or else you went to the south side to maybe get your hair done, but then you paid, a quarter of the price. So that's where we came up with Hand Blow Dry to kind of solve that problem and bring all these great providers in one place in an affordable capacity in a glam look space. So that's kind of where we came up with that. But the other aspect, as we started the business, we started realizing a lot of what you guys were talking about in that first panel, that a lot of these women, most especially our staff, have been abused. I feel like 90% of our staff has dealt with some form of physical or mental abuse, and actually that's the next tier of our business is a charity aspect, and we do as many charity programs as we can currently to help on the side, abused women. But that's definitely the next layer of our business is, overall it's empowering women through beauty, obviously, but then also, just support in general. So yeah, that's just the next facet.
I think some of the deepest scars are those that are not physical. And I think there's so many layers, to that. And I think what you guys do is phenomenal. The Me Too movement is real on so many levels and so many aspects. And it's not necessarily just, I think, sexual abuse or harassment, but I just think just some of the mental abuse, some of the emotional abuse, some of the tearing down. The inclination is to tear down and not build up. And that's what I want to change. It's just, and I appreciate some of the comments and the compliments that I've received this week. It's about y'all, right? So it's not about me, it's about you all. They're so pretty, they're so beautiful. There's people lined up outside to come into the studio. And it's because, why y'all laughing? I'm for real. But it's about, you guys being beautiful, right? But just the stuff that you do and the stuff that you do for other people. And I can't say that enough. Is I want to be an example of let your inclination be kindness. Let your inclination be complimentary, right? I think sometimes people look to tear down. And but before we get into some of that, I want to talk about the entrepreneurship, because I think what you all do as entrepreneurs is incredibly valuable and important. So how hard is it to be an entrepreneur? They always say if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So do you want to talk about what challenges you've experienced or anything you want to share with, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it to be an entrepreneur? Candace, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
It's definitely, it's definitely hard. I would
10,
say
12.
You don't need an alarm clock to wake you up, right? Because you wake up
Yeah,
already.
it's true.
You crack it on, with ideas roaming in your mind. And it's sometimes a thankless job because you're the only one that's doing it sometimes. And you're the brains behind it, you're the creativity behind it, and everything falls on you. So that support, when you have other entrepreneurial, spirits around you, then it helps.
And sometimes it's a non-paying job.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's not always green.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red, hopefully black at least.
Yeah.
But it can be challenging.
Yeah.
It can be challenging. And it's not always reliable, right? You don't know. Nobody knows what next month is going to look like, right? But what advice do you have? Because I think despite what you feel are your challenges and or your setbacks, there's people out there, there are little girls out there. I think about my own daughter. There are people out there who look up to you and who admire what you do and who think, where you've gone to school, what you've done is so amazing and that you've got it made and it's so easy. So what advice would you give to people about starting your own business?
I can speak to that just a little bit. One of my biggest lessons being an entrepreneur, because I'm a serial entrepreneur. I did undergrad at Spelman. I worked for an advertising firm for 5 years or so, and then I did Columbia B School, and then I started my own online shoe store. Took some time off to be a mom, and then came back with Dana, and yet we have in Blow Dry. And my biggest learning is having a partner. And that doesn't necessarily mean, a Dana, your business partner, but that can be a spouse, that can be your CFO, that could be your COO, but having a thought partner is been the most important thing for me as an entrepreneur, and just a huge stark difference between Shoe Crush, which was my online shoe store, and now in Blow Dry, I have Dana, and then also I have, by default, I don't think he's excited, but my spouse.
He loves that Blow Dry.
And so that has made night and day difference. At Shoe Crush, it was just me. I had my cousin who was just really helping me, and some interns, and just no thought partner. No one, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship can be a lonely road, as I'm sure everyone's heard. And you have all these ideas in your head, you know what you need to do to be successful, but the inability to be able to have someone along those same lines to talk with you about that and get those ideas out on paper and in motion makes a night and day difference. For me, it did, at least, in terms of my business and the ability to make it successful.
I think that's so important, and I agree. Did you have something to say?
I think having an end game plan. I think having a goal, no matter, you're waking up in the middle of the night, you said early in the morning, it's like 2 a.m. for me, right? You're panicking, how am I going to pay the bills? How are people going to get paid? But I think having your eye on the prize and having the goal, having a strategy really helps to know your numbers, to know what you're going to make, to know what you're going to lose, and to know how to move forward. It's really having your eye on something like a goal, I think, instead of like, oh God, how's this going to work out?
And I also think that if you are exploring something that you're passionate about and that really feeds your soul and makes you happy, it's a lot less of an arduous road.
It's faith, really. For me too, you have to. I'm a person of faith, and knowing the why behind what you do, and knowing that it's purposeful and that it's your life. What you do is your life. It's who you are. It's pleasing God, not just people. We're here to serve people, but that we have a purpose in everything that we do.
Well, this definitely feeds my spirit, and this definitely feeds you guys are all my friends, and so having you all in the same room together, it's beautiful. I think it's great, and I can't say enough about having a partner. Because I'm divorced, I'm single, so for me, it can be a very lonely experience. But I think having support, and I've had a lot of support from people just, just uplifting and encouragement. Every week there's somebody who's like, wow, I was really motivated by your show. Every show that I do has a purpose to it. And, this was about being a demonstration of supporting women and showcasing women who are out there hustling, because it's hard. And so, thank you for what you do, because I think it is a thankless job. People don't say thank you enough. And whether you know it or not, whether people say it to you as often as they should, it's inspiring. There's somebody who's benefiting from your business every single day. And so remember that, because I think it's so important. Sometimes we can lose sight of that when things are hard and when days are rough and when we're not sure if we're going to make the ends meet and how things are going to happen. So it's nice to know and to just remember that, because that's what inspires me. And I feel like it's almost a blessing, because when sometimes it's my hardest days or my longest days, and this is what I'm passionate about. So this isn't something that I get paid to do or anything. This is what I'm passionate about. And but it's always somebody who's like, wow, I was really motivated by what so and so said, or who you had on there, or just what we talked about or what we're doing. So I thank all the people who've supported me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate all of that. I want to talk about support. You've talked about your spouse. Are there other people in your system, in your tribe, who support you and who motivate you to do what it is that you do?
I have to say, at the fitness level of having a studio, I didn't realize how much my team would motivate me, right? You hire these people, they're amazing people, they teach these wonderful classes, people flock to them, we fill up the studio, and all of a sudden you realize how much they can empower you by just modeling, a little bit of modeling of what you do, but just responding to you. And I had a great workout. I have a specific, instructor in my mind. I hope she's watching, Natalie. She's constantly, giving me an after text of her class and saying how she's empowered. I don't know if anyone has ever taken an aerobics class, but you come off as an instructor as high. I know you can say, I walk out of there, I'm high on life and I'm energized, and she'll send me a text, as many of the instructors do. But it's so empowering to have your team that you didn't put that out there. You didn't say, hey, you have to do this. Hey, you have to be this certain way, or people are going to affect you this way, so let me know. And they continue to feed and fuel kind of the goal of, so do your support system. My team is incredible to do that kind of thing for us and keep us going.
I think for Leslie and I, one thing that has been very touching is the support of our friends with our business. It's obviously kind of an easy sell to come and get, hair and nails and all that. But, from the very beginning, from our the first day that we opened, it was Lollapalooza weekend, 2016. And it was packed. And probably 60% of the people.
We didn't have any time to tell anyone about it.
No, we didn't,
were
because
working.
the serial entrepreneur. So I'm the lawyer. Leslie's the MBA. So I'm the risk averse, scary Smurf. And she's the optimistic, business school. I don't know what they put in the water in business school, but
I know.
They are bulletproof. So I think it was maybe, a week before Coachella or something. Not Coachella, sorry, Lollapalooza. And Leslie's like, no, we're doing it. We're opening Lollapalooza. And it's like, but we don't have a website. But we don't have this, we don't have that. She was like, doesn't matter. We're opening, we opened, we killed it. There were people, we're in the South Loop, 1315 South Michigan Avenue. So we were, less than a mile away from Grant Park. We were doing festival braids, and, girls were walking in off the street. All of our friends were there, all of our family, and it just, they're still, they're some of our standing clients and our biggest supporters. And it's just really heartwarming to see that kind of support, from your village.
Agreed.
For me, that random support. Have you ever just got a random text from somebody that just says, man, you changed my life, thank you. And it's at that point when you need it the most. And so for me, I love to reciprocate that. And when somebody comes across your mind, ladies, we have to support one another. And just those random texts, and whenever, even in the middle of the night, whenever you think about it, just follow your gut, doesn't lead you wrong.
Just that encouragement, I think, is so important. And like you said, when I started this, I had so many people supporting me and who have been riding with me on this, right? A media brand, a fitness class, a blow dry bar, the makeup counter, Rodan and Fields, Stylish and Fit, books. These things don't get read unless people show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are not in the fitness class, people are not in the salon unless people show up. So, I mean, nobody watches a radio show unless somebody's watching a radio show. So I just appreciate, like you said, people showing up for you, people tuning in, people listening, people buying, people supporting. And I think overall we don't do enough of it. And so I just want to encourage us all to show up for people more. I think it's funny because some people come out and they want to be entrepreneurs and they want to do things, and people hang a shingle and they're like, well, why is no one coming out? And so I always beg the question, well, who do you show up for, right? If you want people to show up for you, you have to show up for other people. And I think that you guys, as my friends, the more you show up, the more you get that back. And I just want to encourage a space and an energy of support, of just positive energy, because we can all win. I've been saying one of my hashtags is that the rising tide lifts all boats. And one of my friends said that to me. And that's kind of what we believe in our tribe. And we support each other, just in all the different things that we're doing. Because seeing everybody win is very empowering. And when you surround yourself with like-minded individuals who all believe in the success of each other, great things happen.
You know what you said, Dana, that really spoke to me before I even met you? She said, women don't compete, they collaborate.
Yes.
And I was like, that is a chick I need to know.
Yeah.
That's a Spelman girl.
That's a Spelman girl. That's right. Right on time. So I just want to go down the line with both rows and just quickly tell people how they can reach you, how they can contact you, how they can find you. Again, please repeat your brand, what you sell professionally, and how people can find you, where they can make an appointment, where they can get to you. And of course, you guys are all tagged. You'll be tagged in all the pictures. You've been on my timeline all week. So if you need, you can always reach out to me, and I can hook you up with these people professionally, please, for their services and what they offer. So Amanda, we'll start with you.
I can be reached at booksbyamandaadams.com. That's my website. And then on Facebook and Twitter at Books by Amanda. And on Instagram at Books by Amanda Adams.
Awesome. And the name of her book is The Sangrita Club. So go ahead and check it out. It's a great read. You will not be disappointed. Kimberly?
You can reach me at Big Shot Marketing anywhere on the internet or Fly Girl Dance.
Dana,
you can reach me at Dana at andblowdry.com. And Blow Dry in Chicago is located at 1315 South Michigan Avenue, 312-928-3078. And our Lawrence location is 888 New Hampshire Avenue, Lawrence, Kansas. The phone number is
785-424-7048.
Oh, and Instagram, we are &_blowdry on Instagram, Facebook, and blow dry, one word.
Awesome. Angie?
Stylish and Fit. You can reach me at Stylish and Fit _ on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Tangie, Tanjie. Brewer, and Stylish and Fit is also on Facebook too as well. And if you want to come to some events, having a Girl Fit party soon. So
When is that?
that is May 19th.
All right. Let's get fit. Let's do it. Sarah?
Okay, and
Go ahead,
should I
Kate.
go?
You can. Go ahead.
Okay, you can just find me at the Candace Smith on all social media, and my podcast, Love by Candace, you can just find that on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. It's if you just search Love by Candace. And all my coaching, you can go to CandaceSmith.com/coach.
Fantastic. Sarah?
I'll just pop
Yeah,
it.
just pop in.
The easiest way to reach me is just on my Facebook page, which is Sarah Criz Freire. Otherwise, you'll find some singer in Portuguese. Sarah Criz Freire, CRIZ, F as in Frank, REIRE, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Sandy?
Switch in here, sorry, ladies. Well, you can find me on Facebook, Sandra Hernandez. Also, I work for MAC Cosmetics in Bolingbrook, so swing by anytime. I'd love to give you a consultation. And then our counter does have a Facebook page, MAC Bolingbrook, as well as our Instagram, MAC Bolingbrook.
Fantastic. Awesome. And Veronica?
You can always reach me, Veronica, at Veronica's House on Facebook. And then I'm also on Willowbrook at LA Cuts Again, my number will be 630-995-2320. If you need to reach me by phone, text message, fine by me. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. You guys, I just appreciate all of you. Candace, I thank you for calling in and being here on the phone. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's been awesome. And I thank you all for trudging through the snow, the rain, the sleet, whatever that was. I really appreciate you all being here. You guys are truly beautiful inside and out.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Next week on Dana Being Dana, 30 years ago, a young Morehouse brother named Spike Lee released School Days, and it was a film about fraternities and sorority members clashing with other students at a historically black college during homecoming weekend. My homecoming show in October was one of my highest viewed shows, and we released the Homecoming Challenge. Well, we're coming back next week on School Days. It's a surprise. I'm not going to say much more about it, but it's going to be the biggest show that we've had, and there's going to be a lot of school days and reminiscing and good times. So get ready. Please tune in. You don't want to miss it. Again, this show is sponsored by GH Private Wealth Management Incorporated and Amanda Adams. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Dana Being Dana. See you next week. Bye.